American universities of professors, 9 out of 10 self-define themselves as left-wing. The global warmings will reduce your standard of living, and this is a quote from the Heartland Institute that has analyzed it. Reducing carbon dioxide emissions to 7%, even 7%, let alone 95%, but reducing U.S. carbon dioxide emissions to 7% below 1990 levels by 2012, this is the target by Toyota, would require higher energy taxes, massive regulations, lose 2.5 million jobs and $300 billion in annual economic output. The average household income would fall by $2,700. Full implementation of the Kyoto Protocol by all nations would reduce global temperature by the year 2100 by a mere 1/3 of 1 degree. Here's what Paul Ehrlich, you remember Paul Ehrlich wrote The Population Bomb? There hasn't been a single economic issue that he has not been on the wrong side of in the last 25 years. He is a tenured professor and his books sell well. He wrote, a massive campaign must be launched to de-develop the United States. De-develop means bringing our economic system into line with the realities of ecology and the world resource situation. Take America down, is what they're saying. Here's Michael Oppenheimer of the Environmental Defense Fund. Quote, the only hope for the world is to make sure there's not another United States. We just can't let other nations have the same number of cars, the amount of industrialization we have in the U.S. We have to stop these third world countries right where they are. The reason the Copenhagen Agreement didn't get through is India and China and other third world nations said, wait 1 minute, you guys. You're asking us to stop our industrialization when you guys are already having an average income of about $70,000 a year in the West, and we have an average income of less than $5,000.
Yeah.
And you want us to stop to save the world from carbon dioxide when we want cars. We want refrigerators and washing machines and air conditioners. We want what you want. But those who embrace global warming don't want them to get it. Professor Maurice King, global sustainability requires the deliberate quest for poverty, reduced resource consumption, and set levels of mortality control. Final quote, current lifestyles and consumption patterns of the affluent middle class involving high meat intake, use of fossil fuels, appliances, air conditioning, and suburban housing are not sustainable. They actually invite journalists not to report anything that is against
He's
global warming.
contradicting himself.
There's no objectivity. They plan to bring America and Canada, industrialized nations, down. They want poverty. They want an end to the industrial strength of the West. This is a religion now. Religions have a number of unique characteristics. Original sin, global warming says we're polluting the earth. Ritual, you have to do recycling. Redemption, we must renounce economic growth. Sale of indulgences, carbon dioxide says carbon offsets. We must have faith, and we must persecute heretics. Al Gore and many global warming advocates say that those who deny global warming, man-made global warming, are like Holocaust deniers. Do you know that they've even, on 60 Minutes, a commentator, Scott Pelley, said that skeptics of global warming were equivalent to Holocaust deniers, and went on to say that they ought to have Nuremberg-type war crimes tribunals for those that deny global warming.
Exactly.
I wish I had more time and I would go through Al Gore's convenient lies. But let me tell you, the sea is not rising by 20 feet. 1 foot.
Well, here we go. You're a fucking
Al Gore
denying the Holocaust or whatever. You're chipping on some shit now.
San
You're
Francisco at
contradicting yourself
Fisherman's
big
Wharf,
time.
5 feet from the ocean. Are the Pacific Islands threatened by rising sea levels? No. Is the polar bear population endangered? In 1950, there were 5,000 polar bears. Now we have 25,000. And if we stopped hunting licenses to Eskimos, we would have even more, because they're killing 500 a year. That's the only danger to polar bears. Big white hunters. Al Gore says the Kilimanjaro glacier is melting. Yes, but it's not anything new. It's been melting for 150 years. Ernest Hemingway wrote The Snows of Kilimanjaro in 1936, and most of the melting had already taken place long before carbon dioxide increased. Al Gore says that the glacial melt in the Himalayas waters are failing. No, it's snow that's melting, annual snow. The glacier ice is not melting. Al Gore, in his most famous, says that Antarctica Peninsula, which has 90% of the world's ice and fresh water, he says the Antarctic Peninsula ice shelves are breaking up. Well, there's an Antarctic Peninsula, which is 2% of Antarctica. That's where the ice shelves are breaking off. And they have always been breaking off. And it is a little warmer there. But in 98% of Antarctica, the ice is increasing and it's colder than it's ever been. But he wants to show you 8 pages of
some
pictures
places it's cold and some
glaciers
places it's hot.
melting in that 1-2%.
Side.
He says the Greenland ice sheet is going to melt and slide into the sea.
The temperatures are more extreme, because obviously
Well,
as the water heats up, the water evaporates, the rain comes down, and the chills happen.
It sits in a stone bowl. There's no way it could slide into the sea, even if it ever did melt. And its ice is increasing. He says the storm insurance losses
I don't believe this
due to
guy.
hurricanes are increasing due to global warming. No. What's happening is there are 90% more people living
How do
in
you know?
hurricane-exposed areas of the coast, like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, than did before the 50s. Everyone wants to
He's
live
denying
on the
the
ocean coast.
revelations in the
And
apocalypse.
so you build a
That's what it says in the
$10,
Bible.
$20 million building right in hurricane zone. Don't be surprised there are hurricane insurance losses. But it's not due to global warming. There's no increase of hurricanes or tornadoes. Zero. And finally, Al Gore and the Environmental Protection Agency of President Obama has now declared carbon dioxide as a pollution. Let me tell you that carbon dioxide is a nutrient. Carbon dioxide is no more a pollution than oxygen. Nothing in this world can exist, animal, plant, fish, without carbon dioxide. And to call it a pollutant is nothing other than a lie. But here's the key. If you want to pick something to regulate that literally controls nations, businesses, and people, carbon is it. Because you can't live 5 minutes without using carbon. They want to regulate your life. The cars you can buy, the activities you can engage in, your transportation, your airline tickets, everything. And that's why they've chosen this. You know, God said many years ago in the book of Romans 1:25, and with this I close, that the men and women of the last days who would dishonor themselves, who would fail to give allegiance to God, in verse 25 he said, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshipped and served
Exactly,
the
you bastard, you're gonna
more than
die.
the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. What is happening is a worship, a new religion called Gaia, the spirit of earth, an animistic, paganistic
He's a
religion.
Freemason.
In Genesis chapter 8,
And he's the one saying
God
the earth
said,
ain't fucking
and either
blown up
God
and
is
shit.
right or Al
I'm
Gore,
fucking
you
fucking
pick.
up, so that's what he's saying, you know what I mean? So he's a worshipper of the earth.
In verse 21-22 of Genesis 8, God said, neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done, while the earth remaineth seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Global warming is a fraud. God bless you.
In the end, he's just contradicted himself, I know. He's just said worshippers of the earth, and then he's taken a fucking little bit of the scripture out of context and said that the earth was there.